Okay, so operations with integers. Remember, integers are the whole numbers and their opposites. So like 1 is an integer, negative 1 is an integer. 10 is an integer, negative 10 is an integer. So when we add or subtract the same integer on both sides of an inequality, will we change it from being a true statement to a false statement? So we have to talk kind of abstractly here. Let x, y, and z, we're going to have 3 variables in our inequalities. Tune in. We're going to have 3 variables in our inequalities, x, y, and z. And it says let them be any number. I'm reading right here. Let x, y, and z be any number. If x is greater than y, is x plus z greater than y plus z always true? So in other words, we have this inequality comparing x and y. If we add another number, z, to both sides, will the inequality remain true? The other one states, well, what if it is less than? If x is less than y, would adding z to both sides keep it true? Would it still always be true? That's what we're going to explore. So I've picked some values, and we're going to work with them and see. So x equals 2, y equals negative 3. First thing we got to do is figure out a relationship between those two. So when we're comparing 2 to negative 3, tell me something about that. Which one's bigger? 2 is? Okay, so we're going to just start with them in this order. X is greater than negative 3. That's their relationship to each other. 2 is greater than negative 3. You know what, would you erase that, please? I want to do something else. Erase. Thank you. We're going to first say, is x bigger than y or smaller than y? It's greater than y. So we're going to look at it and say, is x bigger or smaller than y? In this case, it's bigger, so it is greater than. Then we will substitute in our x and our y values, okay? Well, now we're exploring to see if we would add 5 to both sides. So let's start like this, x plus z. If we add z to both sides of our inequality, so x plus z is greater than y plus z. What changed is we're putting a plus z on each side. So our x value is 2. Our z value is 5, is greater than. Our y value is negative 3. Our z value is 5. So we're going to have to do some adding here, and then we'll decide if it's still true or not. What's 2 plus 5? 7 is greater than. What's negative 3 plus 5? Negative 3 plus 5? 2. Is 7 greater than 2? True or false? True. Okay. So we added 5 to both sides. Our inequality statement remains true. Because we determined in the beginning that 2 is bigger than negative 3. It did not change the relationship. It is still true. Questions? Okay. Well, then let's do when x is 4 and y is 10. What relationship do those guys have to each other? X is what? Greater than or less than y in this case? Is less than. It is a smaller number. So this is our algebraic statement. X is less than y. Okay. And now we're going to substitute in, what's going in for x? 4 is less than 10. Okay, and that's true, right? Did we set it up right? 4 is less than 10. Okay. So in this one, we are going to add negative 4, but before we do that, we're going to write it like this. We have the x plus z is less than 1 this time. and the y plus z. So we're adding z to both sides. So it's going from x is less than y to x plus z is less than y plus z. We're going to add our -4. So 4 goes in for x. What's going in for z? -4 is less than, what's our y? 10. What's going in for z? -4. Our substituting step. And this is why we warmed up at the beginning of class with adding and subtracting. What's 4 plus -4? 0. They're opposites. Remember, opposites add up to 0. And what's 10 plus -4? 6. How do you feel about that relationship? True or false? Is 0 less than 6? Yes, it's true. So questions on that one and all. Okay, first thing I want us to do is decide the relationship x has to y in our next one. What relationship is that 1 bigger or smaller than -7? Greater. Okay, so is greater than y. X is greater than y in this situation. So 1 is greater than -7. We start with a true statement, and then we say, well, what will happen if I add z to both sides of this inequality that is y is greater than, x is greater than y? If I add z to both sides, will that affect it? Okay, so let's look. X is 1. Add our -2 for z. Y is -7. Add our -2 for z. Okay, you figure out what the left side becomes and what does the right side become. Danny? Negative what? 5. Everybody agree with her? Well, what do you want to change, Louise?
The -5 should be -9.
Anybody want to agree with Wade on that? That instead of -5, it should be -9. -7 plus -2 is -9. So we're going to change that to a 9, -9. Okay? So we want to make sure that we can add properly also, not just be able to substitute in and do this. What's negative? Is -1 greater than -9? True or false? True. Well, we can keep doing this for hours upon hours and days upon days. But we've done 3 of them. Do you think we can make a conclusion? So when you add, here's what we want to decide. When you add the same number to both sides of an inequality, does it change the relationship or does it not change the relationship? Did they go from true to false, or did they stay true? They stayed true, so it does not change the relationship. And we added some positive numbers, we added some negative numbers, we were working with some positives that we were adding to, we were working with some negatives that we were adding to. We kind of tried, I tried to make sure we had a variety. So I'm feeling pretty confident that we can conclude that if you add the same number to both sides of an inequality, you do not change the relationship. It remains true. So questions, or anybody needs me to go back to any part of that? Okay, let's go to the back then. Let's do subtraction. So we're going to basically do the same thing. Let x, y, and z be any number. I've already chosen them for us. If we subtract z, that's what these say. If we subtract z from both sides, will it stay true? So let's figure out the relationship first of all between x and y here. X is what? Greater than y. So we are going to explore if you subtract z, will it be false or will it be true? Okay, so that's what we're exploring. We're starting with x is greater than y. Well, what if we subtract z from both sides? What's going to happen? Okay, so we're going to do our subbing now. 4 is going in for x, 1 is going in for y. Let's make sure we set it up right. Is that true? 4 is greater than 1? Okay. So now let's go over here and say 4 goes in for x. We're supposed to subtract 5. That's our z value. Our y value is 1. We're supposed to subtract 5. Well, this is not a bigger positive number, take away a smaller. So what do we do in those cases again? Add the opposite. 4 plus negative 5 is greater than, oh, this is not a bigger positive number, take away a smaller positive number either. So 1 plus a negative 5. Four plus negative 5. Negative 1. 1 plus negative 5. Negative 4. How do you feel about that? Is that true or is that false?
True.
It's true. Negative 1 is greater than negative 4. Even though neither of them are pleasant, 1 below is better than 4 below. Okay? Okay. What's the relationship in this one? X is what? Less than y. So we're going to subtract z from x. We're going to subtract z from y. So the inequality symbol stays is less than. And now we do our subbing in. Okay, negative 1 is less than 0. Let's make sure we have that right. Is negative 1 less than 0? Okay, so we got to start out with a true statement. So negative 1, take away negative 2. That subtraction sign does not take the place of the negative sign on the 2. This is exactly how you need to write it. Negative 1, take away negative 2. Is less than, our y value is 0, take away a negative 2. Now we'll rename them as add the opposite. So negative 1 stays negative 1, we don't mess with that guy. The subtraction becomes addition, and the opposite of negative 2 is positive 2. Is less than. 0 stays 0. Subtraction becomes addition, and the opposite of negative 2 we said is positive 2. This, being able to work with adding and subtracting positives and negatives, you have to understand this. If you don't understand this, a lot of the rest of the math you take will be miserable. So we have to make sure we get this learned, how to do this, okay? What's negative 1 plus 2? 1. What's 0 plus 2? 2. Do we have a true statement, Derek? Okay. What does it say?
2 greater than 1.
2 is greater than 1 if you read it backwards. If you read it from left to right, it says
1 is less than 2.
that's right. Either way, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay, I want you to try this last one totally on your own. I'll work it up here. If you get stuck, you can look up, but I want you trying to do it on your own. after subtracting z from both sides, what do we end up with? I don't want to help you, Jenny. I'm going to make you do it myself. I'm not going to, so give me some help. Cheyenne? I want to hear, yeah, I want to hear it.
It's greater than
Okay, I agree. -6 is greater than -9, so we should end up with. So find along the way what's different about yours, if it didn't happen. And then we gotta decide, is this true or is this false? Is -6 greater than -9?
True.
It's true, yeah, it is. So again, we did 3 tests, we got 3 truths, so what can we conclude? When you subtract the same number from both sides of an inequality, does it change the relationship? No, it does not change the relationship. So this is big for us to know, that we can add and subtract the same thing on both sides of the inequality, and we will not change the relationship. It's legal, in other words, okay? So no concerns. Okay, then if you're finished, you can be putting your pencil down and getting a sheet of loose paper out. If you're not, you need to get this finished up. You need to have your notes finished.